The Edge at 11 starts now.
Welcome, everybody. Tonight on The Edge, a celebration of life and a call for justice. Loved ones gather to remember Rashawn Palmer, who was an innocent bystander killed during a shooting at last Sunday's Lions Tailgate at Eastern Market. Fox 2's Lauren Edwards takes us to tonight's vigil.
Before the event even began, his family approached us and said that tonight is all about Rashawn, honoring him, loving him, and many of them saying that he is someone that they will always remember.
Man, my cousin, he loved to just have a good time, you know, relax, you know, we go out, party. You know, he was a genuine, nice person.
A friend, brother, cousin, a loved one. That's what 40-year-old Rashawn Bryant Palmer was to all who gathered for his vigil on Friday evening at Northern High School.
The city, my cousin always said he's gonna bring the city out. The city been amazing. It's just, I love it.
Bryant Palmer was one of two men tragically killed during a tailgating event at Eastern Market on Sunday.
It was just, he was that nice of a person. Everybody know him. You know, it's just bad time, bad place.
Family says the gathering is not about the tragedy.
My brother was everything to me,
but about keeping his memory alive. And they hope many will learn from his tragedy.
I'll bring guns to a crowded event. You know, it's just crazy, you know, even if you got a license to carry. I mean, shit, nobody want to be fighting all that with a crowd of people anyway.
The balloons are in the air in his honor, and his visitation and celebration of life are scheduled for next week, September 26th and the 27th. Reporting here in Detroit, Lauren Edwards, Fox 2 News.
Well, Pontiac man now charged in a horrific attack on his neighbors. 50-year-old Timothy Lagarde faces 11 felonies for the alleged attack Wednesday morning on Ypsilanti Street. Police say Lagarde had an argument with his neighbor before stabbing him to death. He then went inside the neighbor's home and is accused of sexually assaulting the victim's wife and his daughter. The two escaped and called 911. The incident has left other neighbors shocked.
It's disturbing. It's disturbing. It's, you know, you never know what's going on with somebody. The individual has to be very mentally touched to do something like that to a child.
If convicted, Lagarde faces up to life in prison. Another neighbor dispute taking a violent turn, this one in Wall Lake. The SWAT team was called to the Dover Hill condominium complex early this morning when a suspected gunman named Donovan barricaded himself inside the home. He had just shot his neighbor, Brian Markowski. He spoke to Fox 2 about what happened as he returned home from the hospital this afternoon.
He threw his girlfriend out in the middle of the night. She was sitting in her car, and I could hear like her whimpering, and she sounded like, you know, so upset. It's like so distraught. Out here asking like, what's going on? He goes, I'm throwing her out. Next thing I know, he goes in the house, comes back, he's brandishing a weapon. I said, well, this is gonna end really bad for you, or really bad for me. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm glad I'm here, because that gun was at my face for way too long.
The bullet went through Markowski's leg. The suspect eventually surrendered to police. He's currently awaiting charges. A 13-year-old girl was shot in the leg, and now her own stepfather is charged with pulling the trigger. The teen suffered a graze wound during Tuesday's shooting at a Redford Township home. 51-year-old Christopher Harris is now charged with 12 felonies. It turns out he was not allowed to possess a gun in the first place. The judge slapped him with a $5 million bond. While columnist is under fire for this cartoon that's being condemned as racist. It depicts Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib next to an exploding pager just days after an attack on Hezbollah members in Lebanon. Many in the Arab community are blasting the cartoon.
I thought it was distasteful, really. That is one thing. The other thing, I felt that it was making light of the fact that some children were killed, some innocent bystanders were killed. And I think to make light of that situation and that human tragedy, I think was wrong.
Tlaib responded to the cartoon on X saying, quote, this racism will incite more hate and violence against our Arab and Muslim communities, and it makes everyone less safe. Oh, pro-Palestinian protesters speaking out in Ann Arbor. They're calling out the state's attorney general for charging 11 demonstrators who camped out on U of M's Diag. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin with the story tonight.
Palestinian demonstrators taking to the streets of downtown Ann Arbor, pushing back against State Attorney General Dana Nessel's filing of criminal charges for 11 protesters who are mostly U of M students and alumni.
I'm currently facing misdemeanor trespassing charges for participating in the encampment.
Selma Hamami told us about what she says she's gone through since learning about the criminal charges filed against her. The AG's office says they are the result of an investigation into several incidents around the pro-Palestinian encampment at the university's Diag back in the spring. State investigators say in a statement that U of M administrators met with student liaisons nearly a dozen times in 20 days to talk about policy violations and safety concerns at the height of the encampment. Selma says it's clear what the legal action means to her.
I understand that it's a suppression tactic, especially considering our movement has been very prevalent for months now. I'm not going to take it as a means to stop advocating for Palestinian human rights or for an end to the genocide. Palestinians are facing much harsher sentences and difficulties than we will ever face. And instead, I just find this to be a sign of the university's desperation, not a sign of our futility.
Investigators say they looked at evidence tied to more than 35 protest participants, including body-worn camera footage, police reports, dispatch calls, orders to disperse, social media posts, and surveillance footage. Protesters we spoke with, including those not facing charges, say they won't be going away anytime soon.
We have wonderful, wonderful lawyers who are volunteering their time to support us, but this will only make the movement stronger. Repression, police violence, charges against protesters, all of these things motivate us further.
We reached out to the Attorney General's office for comment reacting to this protest. We haven't heard back yet, but the Attorney General's office did say when filing those charges, they support free speech on college campuses, but they say the conviction in your ideals is not an excuse for violations of the law. In Ann Arbor, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, my friends, we've had an amazing stretch of weather these past couple of weeks, but as we welcome fall this weekend, we also will say goodbye to temperatures in the 80s. Let's get right to our friend, Weather Authority Rich Luderman. Hey, Rich.
Hey there, Rick. We have 2 more days. We have tomorrow and Sunday. We will likely be in the 80s, but then we're going to see a pattern change into early next week. You know, we have a couple of thunder showers out there close to the Rockwoods, around Flat Rock, down to Stony Point, also up around Memphis, approaching Port Huron from the west. So most of us are not going to see any rain, but there were some showers late today, and there are some thunder showers right now. How about live pictures from Chicago O'Hare? Nice quiet night there. Lots of lights around the airport, that's for sure. Here are the daytime highs today. 83 for us, 91 Chicago. That's pretty warm. 87 as far north as Saginaw. We made it to 83. Here are your averages, and we're going to get back to average starting Monday. You'll see that in the 7-day. Right now, some of us still in the middle range of the 70s, a little cooler around Jackson. There's Pontiac at 72. Check out these numbers: 60 in Green Bay, 64 Fort Wayne. There's Erie, Pennsylvania, 70 degrees. It's going to be a warm day tomorrow, but watch for Sunday when our next cold front approaches. That's going to bring some wet weather here Sunday evening into Monday, and again, you'll see it in the 7-day. Perhaps a stray thunder shower in a few spots, down to 64. Tomorrow's a beauty, very summer-like for the last day of summer, 85 degrees for high, and then there's the change for Monday. We will likely get some rain Sunday evening, but cooler next week. Group, we'll check it for you starting tomorrow morning.
All right, Rich, thank you. A hero's farewell for an officer killed in the line of duty last week. Colleagues and loved ones said their goodbyes to State Police Officer Dan Kerstetter. Fox News' Camilla Mary was at the funeral in Grosse Pointe Farms.
A somber day in Grosse Pointe Farms as hundreds of people say goodbye to a fallen officer.
Courageous, dedicated, compassionate, steadfast, and honorable. These are a few of the words that capture the essence of my brother, Daniel Murray Kerstetter.
He was so proud to be a part of the MSP family.
A motor carrier officer with the Michigan State Police, Kerstetter was taken off life support Sunday. 2 days earlier, he was hit while he was in his squad car on a traffic stop on I-75 in southwest Detroit. The driver hit a median wall and then slammed into Kerstetter's vehicle. The driver of the other car died that day. The officer had to be extricated from the squad car.
Thank you to the first responders who were first on scene, who helped him to get out of his patrol car and stayed with him to the hospital. I know some of you are here today.
Friday, family, friends, and law enforcement from all over attended Kerstetter's funeral.
Thank you to the countless troopers from all over the U.S. North Carolina, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Connecticut, the great state of New York, where Danny is from.
As a Michigan State police officer, he embodied the true spirit of heroism and dedication to service. My brother's legacy is not just in the badge he wore, but in the countless lives he touched.
His pathway to law enforcement and to the MSP was unique, given the fact that he was in his early 40s when entering the recruit school. But let it be known that he displayed and exceeded every fundamental principle of a righteous and just officer.
I could stand here for hours just telling you stories of what an amazing person he was. Most importantly, the best husband and the best father. And that is all he wanted to be. Danny, loving you changed my life. Losing you has done the same.
Now, Officer Kerstetter was an organ donor. His 2 kidneys and liver were donated to 3 separate people. So despite him being gone, he will live on in them. In Grosse Pointe Farms, Camille and Mary on The Edge.